Hey, hey, what's going on, everybody? 1 second, folks. Sorry. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Happy Saturday. Welcome back. Thank you all for joining me last night for our little get down. Had a good time. Hope you all did. Today, it's back to the norm. We're having a Saturday open discussion today. It's great to be here with you guys. Hope you're all having a great weekend. Beautiful weather out there. This April 15th of 2023. We're going to discuss a little bit of everything, everybody. So let's get the show on the road. Hey. Good afternoon, good evening, good night, good morning, whatever it is. I hope it's good. Hope you guys are having a great day, great start to your weekend. What's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining me today. Great to be here with you guys. And again, guys, thank you so much for joining me last night. I hope you all that were here enjoyed yourselves. I know I did. Good old time. Let's see, who do we have here today? Mr. Lance. Welcome, brother. Good to have you. Mrs. M, so great to see you, hun. Thanks for joining us again. Miss Jody, good to see you back. Thanks for joining us. Rowdy, what's up? Thanks for being back with us. Always great to see you. Miss Sherry's here. Great to have you here, Miss Sherry. Always happy to see you as well. Let's see. Crime Time with Mama Bear is in chat today, folks. She's not feeling real good, but she's still here. Thank you for being here, Mama Bear. Always happy to see you. Miss Brandy, happy. How are you, Miss Brandy? Good to see ya. T2014, welcome. Good to have you here. Let me see. Anybody else? Drift, what's up, brother? Good to have you. Number one in the house today. So great to see you, Drifter. Hope you're having a great day over the pond over there. Mr. Dustin's in the house. Professional paranormal research. I got your Papa Smurf, brother. Remember that. Good to have you here, Dustin. Always happy to see you, bro. And I think that's Pink's in the house. I'm so sorry. Welcome, Pink. Good to have you here. Thank you for being here with us today. Great to see you guys. Every one of you guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. See, what did you say out there, Pink? Calling all meatballs, meatball dance party, after party. Hey. So, absolutely, Lance. That was gifted to you by, I believe it was Mama Bear that gifted that to you, buddy. So, welcome back to the source, Mr. Lance, the Meatball Nation. That's what you guys are. You guys are my Meatball Nation. How about that one? Anyway, I want you guys to let me know. For those of you that were here last night, I hope you had a good time. If you had a good time, throw a 1 in the chat for me and let me know that you guys enjoyed yourselves. That way I know if it's worth doing it again. I know I enjoyed myself. I really did. It's nice to just let loose sometimes, you know. Like I said, we do what we do throughout the week, and we're always looking for answers to things that we can't fix. It's just kind of stressful, guys. I mean, you guys know that. It's a lot of depressing crap, as I always say. A lot of downtrodden stuff, and it's always nice to be able to unwind at the end of all that and just release it. And I feel like that's what we did last night. At least I did. It was good. It was good. It was good. Appreciate. Pookie's in the house. What's up, Miss Pookie? Sandra Williams, welcome. It's good to have you here again. So great to see you. Thank you for joining us. I think that's it. Yes. All but the rap music. Well, you got to spread it out, Pookie. You got to have a little bit of everything for everybody, you know. It's all right, T. No worries. I was tired too, guys. I drank coffee at 11 o'clock last night, if that tells you anything. What's up, Strike, little brother? How you doing, Bob? Laundry day. That's when we wear all the crappy clothes that we never want to wear. Then we don't match usually because we're washing all the good stuff. Arriba, meatballs. How are you today? So we listened to a little bit of everything, did a little bit of everything, had a little bit of fun. So yes. Let's see, I got 1-1. So Pink's the only one that had a good time. Oh, no. T put a 1, but said I didn't make it through the whole thing. So that's 2 1s. Mrs. M has a 1. There we go. Okay, I see you guys now. It was at least 3 or 4 of you guys had a good time. That's all that matters. That is all that matters. And I had a good time too, so. Today, guys, we're having Saturday open discussion. It's the end of the week. We're going to kind of like go around and kind of touch on a little bit everything we've touched on maybe throughout the past couple of weeks. I do have a little bit of tiny little piece of new info about something we had talked about. I'm a 1 that fades in and out. Okay, 6. 1. Always the comedian. Always the comedian. I'm telling you. So, and that's what we're doing today. Just touching on some stuff. I'm gonna wait just a little bit longer, see if a couple more people jump in here before I say anything about the one thing I was going to talk about. But it's great to see you guys again. And again, like I said, I hope you guys are having a really, really great weekend so far. If there's good weather, when we're done with this, guys, get out there and enjoy it, please. It is too nice to be in the house. Way too nice. Just saying. Let me see. Again, guys, please do me a favor. On your way in the door, please also make sure that you leave some DNA on that like button. Share this out, folks, to anybody you can think of. If you think somebody's going to like me, if you like me, there's a good chance they might send out a share. Bring them on in. Please. And don't forget at the end to leave me some comments. Welcome, Michelle. Good to see you again. He always does, Pink. If I'm playing music, he's right next to me, right in the middle of it, singing, doing whatever he can do to be involved. He loves music, too, just as much as I do, if not more. What'd you say there, Strike? I would be, but it snowed here and it's cold, so I don't blame you, bud. I'm so tired of the snow for you guys that I'm not even there. Molly and all you guys that are constantly getting this snow, it's insane. Again, welcome back, Miss Michelle. So good to have you back again. Speaking of Molly, where is our Molly? Miss Heather probably isn't going to be here today. She's got some stuff to do with her children's. It is the weekend, guys. The mods don't have to be here every single day. They deserve their time off, too. I don't know if Molly's busy today or she's just not doing anything today. See if I can find her real quick. Let me see. Let me see. Anything? Where are you, Molly dear? And you got to send out my invites because YouTube doesn't always do it. And that's okay. It was nice to have some people from the other side over there in Dustin's stream. Miss Vicky was here last night, and PW was here last night. We had a few peeps on it. Miss Cat jumped in here. Yes, I am. All Points Bulletin. Where is my Molly Cat? I gotta have somebody to harass me. Well, that's Dustin's in here. I'll be harassed one way or another, but you know, I always worry about my peeps when I don't see them. Especially Molly. She's always busy, got stuff going on. Sometimes she's not feeling good, so I got to like to check on her. That's all. If I don't see any of you guys, eventually I'm going to come looking for you. Be prepared. That's just who I am. Uh-oh, Chunky Toddler's in the house. What's up, Toodles? Good to see you. I said hey to you, Strike. A couple times, bro. I just said something about your snow, too. Are you not hearing me, sir? Are you not paying attention? What'd you say there, thick youngster? Would people around you steal your mower? Mower? Pookie, what are you talking about, darling, already? I have to buy a can of gas and get out the mower and figure out how to leave the mower in the yard, covered and locked onto something. I still don't see, like, you live in Sherwood Forest. Why? No, I worry about Molly. Let's see where she is. Chunky Toddler, everybody. By the way, is Fat Baby Toodles, but I can't never call. Can't ever call him that. Call her that. Are you, by the way, Toodles, are you male or female? I don't ever want to insult you and call you the wrong things. I just never knew that. It's hard to tell by looking at your picture, too. That could be anything. But anyway, when you guys hear me say all these weird names, that's what the actual F dude that blows. Oh, I thought you were talking to me. They stole my last mower. Or this is anywhere I bought with my character. I'm insane. People need to. That's crazy. I'm sorry to hear that, Pook. I didn't see Molly last night either. We didn't get snow for the last few days. Maybe spring is here. It was 87 degrees here yesterday, guys. Almost 90 degrees. I cut my forest. All right. That's good to know, darling. I'm glad because I didn't, like I said, I don't want to call hey dude or hey guy or you know what I mean? I just don't like to do that. And sometimes the screen names make it hard. I'm absolutely that's good to know. Never offended. I find it totally okay. Well, I have to, but you know why I call you all the different names. Chunky youngster. Just so for any of you guys that don't understand, we were over in the Publicly Buzzed stream one time, and Fat Baby Toodles came into the stream, and I said, "Hi, Fat Baby Toodles," and Dan said that the YouTube would not allow that comment to be posted, and nobody understood it. It was too funny, to be honest with you. But so I'm thinking, like, they must not have liked the fat baby insinuation thing, or maybe it was listed, it was considered, talking down to somebody or whatever. So I rephrased it a different way, and ever since then, that's what I call her. Anytime I see her, I call her something different. It was probably the strangest. You're right. It was the strangest thing I've ever seen. It doesn't make any sense, but it kind of does. I did a survey this morning, everybody. YouTube sent out a survey to all of us creators, and it was asking all these questions, and all your answers were listed in the same brackets. Are you happy, or how can I explain? Basically asking if you're happy with all of their services, and of course, I'm an honest person and said no, I'm not. And the one thing they said, how can YouTube change more to basically make you happier as a creator? And I said, well, for one, the one thing I answered the same on, because they asked you different versions of each question, right? And I said, basically, giving a little more freedom to creators when they put their stuff out there, because we have none. You can't say certain things. You can't do I mean, it's crazy, guys. There's so much. I did it again. There's so much locked down with YouTube that you gotta watch saying this. You can't say that. You can't do. I mean, so that's what I did. So they'll probably shut me down because I disagreed with their ways. So who knows? If you don't see me, you know why. Thank you, Miss Brandy, darling. Appreciate that, guys. You know what all this means. Anybody that would feel generous enough to want to support the channel, please do so by using Venmo, the Cash App, PayPal, and of course, you guys are all welcome to use the super chats or the super stickers or whatnot, whatever you would like to do. It is also very much appreciated. I do appreciate you all for the support of the channel and just for being here with me, guys. I really do. There you go. That would be awesome. Stick a electrical wire to it. When they touch it, they get fried. What do we got here? Save me from myself. Well, welcome, Save Me. Wait, you look familiar. Is that Miss Sylvia? It is. Hello. I've been missing you all. Been trying to keep up with streams on YouTube. Also keep my mind from exploding. I haven't even been to Discord in days. Hope you are doing well. Well, I hope you are too. What is going on, my dear? It's great to see you. You missed us. We had a little bit of a party in here last night, playing some music. You missed out on that one, but that's okay. You're here now. That's what matters. It's good to see you back, Sylvia. I kind of figured that when I saw the picture, hon. But thank you for being here. We appreciate you. You're better off just getting a reputation with crackheads of being insane. So running out of town, screaming, swinging the baseball bat at 4 a.m. is working. Okay. Well, if that works for you, then go for it, hon. Just don't get yourself hurt, Pookie. People are crazy. That's all right. Don't worry about that, dear. Sylvia, you can do whatever you want. It's your name. And a lot of you guys do that. You change your names, and it's Rowdy changed the name a couple times, and Fupa has changed her name a couple times. It's all good. Doesn't matter. So, just to give you guys a heads up, one of the newer pieces of info. God, I love your lunatic strategy. You're a genius. What was I going to say? It is great to see you as well, Sylvia. One of the newer pieces of info I was going to give you guys is, if you guys remember correctly, and I got to thank Miss Brandy for bringing this to me this morning. We were covering the, I guess we could call it the smiley face killer or the smiley face murders that were happening in Chicago. Well, another one happened. Another body was pulled out of the water in Chicago, guys. It's just ongoing. And there was a TikTok, I believe, that was put out. Miss Brandy showed me this morning. Thank you, Brandy, for that, by the way, dear. Of a younger gentleman that was doing the TikTok, and he was talking about how he was angry they had found another body. He was angry because at the same time that they found that body, he was at a like a police press conference type scenario, like a meeting, trying to come up with an answer to deal with the problem that's been going on, and another one happened. So something's going on with this, guys. I mean, it's pretty insane. So that's the newer little. There's nothing more to it. I guess Brady reached out to try to see if he'd be interested in talking with us because he seems to know that area and what's going on with it. I have a gun, but if I shot it straight up, I'm gonna be in trouble now. Chief's grandma lives across the street, so oh yeah, that'd probably be a problem. So, again, guys, it is Saturday, and we're having an open discussion. So, does anybody have anything at all they'd like to touch base on? I'm giving it to you guys first, as far as the floor goes. Yeah, that was a weird one, Sandra. I agree with you on that one. Absolutely a weird one. Let me see. Where is it at? It is a very weird movie. Now we have one moment. One moment. Looking for something, everybody. I'm sorry. I'm here though. And again, guys, just so to remind you all, for those of you, if you want homework, give me one moment, everyone. Sorry. Sorry, everybody. That was Mrs. Dago. I don't know if you guys were all in here. Welcome, Elizabeth. Good to see you. It's great to have you here. So I don't know if you guys were in here yesterday, but I had explained that my one cat that we did not know she was pregnant, but she delivered 3 babies, right? Um, well, another one passed away this morning. She's not doing what a typical mother cat would do. And we've been trying to kind of feed them with syringe and stuff like that, and they're just not reacting as they should. Mama Bear mentioned this morning that maybe they're premature, maybe that she didn't go to full term with them, and that's why, which makes sense because they are. I mean, I can hold my hand and it's sad. There's any Good golly, Miss Molly's in the house. Good to see you, darling. And I'm feeding the other one, trying to keep the other one alive. Okay. Meanwhile, the mother's just out gallivanting and doing whatever she wants. She doesn't seem to care unless I go touch them. This morning I was feeding the one, and it's meowing in my hand, and she starts meowing herself, and she's looking around. She climbed up over the back of the chair, my back over, and took the kitten out of my hand and walked it back down to the bed and laid it down and covered it up. And I'm like, what are you doing? So I picked him back up, or her, and went back and started to give a little bit more of the formula stuff that we put together. Welcome, Sunshine. Good to see you. And it meowed again. It's meowing like crazy. She goes in. She climbed up over my chest, went down, licked it, smelled it, and grabbed it again, took it away from me, and put it back in the thing again. So she seems to somewhat know what she's doing instinctually, but if she didn't go to full term, I looked it up, then there's a typical fact that the milk is not going to come in on her as it should have because it's not ready. Her body wasn't ready. If she's immature, meaning not old enough for this, her body may not have been ready to deliver kittens, which in turn could make them premature because, so I don't know. I'm trying to keep the last one going. The little orange one passed this morning. It was a bad morning, guys. I'm kind of a sensitive person, and I love everything and everybody. So I went out this morning, and they were all underneath her, and they were warm, and the little black one moved and meowed, and the orange one I didn't see. I seen its paw, but I thought it was just fine. I didn't really bother with it. So I went back inside, got my coffee, did this, did that, came back outside to check on them completely, and she was still in there. And I had to move her. She lays on top of them and sits on top of them, which I don't know if that's normal or not. Okay. This is my first time around with this. So she moved. She had moved at that point, and I looked down, and he's laying there, and his mouth was kind of open just a little bit, and he wasn't moving. He wasn't breathing like the other one was, and I'm like, oh God. So I started rubbing him a little bit, and he didn't move. And I'm, doing this and doing that. He was gone. So I moved him over to the side, okay? I was going to get everything ready to do what I was going to do, and I picked up the other one who's squirming and meowing and this and that, rubbing him, warming him up. They're staying cold no matter what. They seem to have a little chill to their body. And I keep him with this blanket in there, and her, trying to keep her in there, and to keep him warm. And they're outside on the back porch and my back deck right now, up in the corner by the house, when there's a heater around them too, so it stays fairly warm. And then at nighttime, I bring them in the house, before we go in if it starts to get dark, because it gets colder out there still at night. And during the daytime, I'll put them back outside because she won't stay in the house, and so I want her to be with the. Yeah, I know, hon. I do have them inside, Molly. It's like 87 degrees right now, and like I said, they're on my deck in the sun, and a heater's around them, so it's warm. Because she won't stay in the house, she goes nuts, and I want her to be by them. So, I am feeding it. I called a vet yesterday, or my wife called a vet, I should say. Um, what's up, Mikey? And said to take whole milk and crack just the egg yolk into it and mix it really good, like blend it really good, and then heat it just a little bit to get to a certain temperature, and then put it in a dropper and give it two little drops to the little one because it's protein and something else. No, Molly, she's not feeding nothing. The first day she did, they seemed to latch on and feed off of her. It seemed like that, at least. We thought so because she was moving and they were stuck up to her. After that, no. I don't know what the hell the deal is. So we're giving them that little bits at a time. It's just disheartening because when I saw the little orange one there, it just, I told my wife, I said, don't get attached because we don't know what's going to happen with this. This is our first time dealing with this kind of thing. We did not know this was coming. We didn't expect this, so on and so forth. And I said, I don't want you to get attached. So as I'm telling her that, I'm the one that broke down and had a little bit of a cry fit this morning when I realized the orange one was gone. This is me. Yeah, so it is her very first litter, Jody. She's not even fully matured. She's probably only 7-8 months old tops. What's up, Transporter? Good to see you, buddy. So like I said, she's not fully matured. So from what I read, her body's not fully matured enough to probably carry kittens full term, and it can cause that to happen. You guys, I'm not kidding you. They're okay. You see the slider in my hand? That's how big these things are. Maybe just a tinge longer. That's it. I mean, they're absolutely adorable, but I don't know. Right. That's what we're kind of trying to do. She only had 3. One was stillborn, I believe. When we first saw, we didn't even know. I told you guys what happened. I was sitting here outside smoking a cigarette, and my wife was sitting on the other side in the other chair in between the little fire table we had, and we had the little cat bed sitting back here. Yes, 3, Pookie. And they kept going. Her and the male cat kept going back and forth by the bed, the cat bed, and to the food bowls. And I'm like, why are they being so shifty today? And he would go over there and he'd crawl back there, and then he'd come back out and he'd look at me and he'd stare at me for a good 10 minutes or so. And I'm like, what do you want? What's the deal? So I'd pet him, talk to him. He'd go back to the food bowl. She'd do the same thing. And then I hear her meowing and stuff. So I look over and I look again, and it was a little dark up there because it's my deck and I have shades and stuff up there. Which, I thought I seen, like, they're both really long-haired cats, and occasionally, like, underneath their belly, their hair will, like, dreadlock a little bit because they're always laying there. We got to cut those out and trim them and stuff like that. But sometimes they're shedding their winter coat right now too. So sometimes those things will just fall off, right? So I looked down a couple of times. I thought that's what it was their hair. Well, then something moved, and I'm like, the hell? So I turned, like, my flashlight on my phone on, and I looked down there, and I'm like, what the hell is that? I mean, they looked like little, like, mice or something, but they were colored. So it's like, and I'm looking, and I'm like, holy shit, those are kittens, like baby kittens, And I told her, and she's like, what? She looks over. We didn't know this cat was pregnant. She didn't look pregnant. I mean, it makes sense now, but, but still. And there was only 3, and the third one wasn't moved. And when I looked at it, its neck was kind of up under its body, like under this way, and you could tell something wasn't right. And that was another dark one, kind of like the one that is still alive out there now. And then we had the orange one, which is the one that my wife fell in love with. That was the loudest one. So Okay. See, we didn't know that. Like we were told by the vet that they have to stay with the mother as often as possible. And then we have to kind of try to force her, if she's not doing it, to stay with them. If you see her not there by the bed with them, to take her back to the bed. You know what I mean? That's what we've been doing. Once we called the vet, they said to do this and do that and blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, if it comes down to it, I mean, I'll carry it around with me. I don't know. I don't know what else to do. I don't know. It's gonna break my heart if this one doesn't make it too. So you guys don't think it's a good idea to leave it with its mother? Well, no, she had already delivered them, Sherry. And like I said, we mixed up that milk, um, like formula type stuff, and we have a little like a syringe, and I'm giving it little bits by little bit at a time. So, and she'll lay in the bed, and she starts like kneading it, and her nails are coming out. And she's like heaving a little bit when she breathes, kind of heavy. So I don't know what the hell's going on with her. Um, this is like I said, this is new. She's the one that just showed up at my back door one day, and she was really emaciated, and I gave mouth to face to a baby rabbit. Oh my god, that's awesome, Jody. I bought a baby receiving blanket and kept my kitty in it. Okay. I guess you could carry the kitty in a fanny. No, I don't want to do that, Pink. That seems kind of suffocating. If anything, I'll wrap it in a blanket and keep it with me. I guess. I mean, I don't know what else to do at this point, guys. The little umbilical thing is still attached to it, which I just leave that alone because I just figured like humans it would just fall off. Listen, I've never done this with cats, dogs, anything. The only thing I ever did this with was a horse one time. My uncle, because I was raised on my uncle's horse farm, and he raised race horses and stuff, and I helped with the horse, the foal when it was born. And it's like, okay, 6 tablespoons condensed milk and 6 tablespoons water, a half a cup of plain yogurt, non-fat, 3 large or 4 small egg yolks, warmed it. Jesus, Molly, that's a lot. Okay. The egg thing I understand for protein. Yogurt? It's curdled, so okay, that makes sense. See, the vet told us to do just like regular milk. Yeah, I know. I heard goat's milk is better too. See, they're not really. Well, first of all, like transport, I gotta get him to open his mouth, and it's been every 2 hours I've been doing it, Rowdy. Yeah. So this won't be too long because I'm gonna have to go back to it again. But thank you, Molly or Brandy. I appreciate that, hon. I just mixed the milk with an egg and mixed it up, and then I heat it to get it to like body temperature, close to body temperature of what I would think. Welcome, April. And then I'll put a little in a syringe, and I'll go into the baby's mouth and give him a little drop, couple, 2, 3 little drops, and let him take it. I try not to overgive it. And then the vet said this was like horrific to me. He was like, because we asked like, how much do you give? That's what we're using too, is one of the hospital syringes. It's just a tiny little one they give you for like babies that we had. And they were like, well, if you see it coming out of his nose, you know that it's had too much. And I'm thinking like, what the hell? That's going to drown the thing. I'm not going to do that. Powdered kitten milk. See, I called around and nobody around here has that, Molly. The vet even said it's hard to find that stuff. So I shouldn't leave it with its mother then? That's the question I'm asking. They do make the little nipple kits. Yeah. I couldn't find those either. I can find them online, but they're not going to be here for like a week. And I think that might be why the other one didn't survive, because they weren't feeding. They're not kinda, Molly, kinda. They're not they don't seem to know how to latch onto her, is what it is. I mean, she'll roll back and lay back if you like rub her belly a little bit and start moving the hair, because I've taken them and tried to put them up on her nipple to get them to latch on to start doing that. You know what I mean? I even took the stuff I made. Tractor Supply has it. Okay. See, that's what I was worried about, Jody, is taking it away from the mother. And the vet said that they do with mothers. They can, because the mother does things that we can't do. But I've heard of people taking kittens when they're like that and bracing them basically to get till they're like 6 weeks old and they're okay. If the milk is coming out of its nose, it's getting into the kitten's food system. Okay, so they're not drowning then, because that's what that sounds like to me. And I was just like, that's horrible. I mean, if that's the case, I'll get a blanket and put them in the blanket and keep them close to me. And keep on feeding them. You will need to help it poop. What? What? How? How do I do that? That's what I thought, Rowdy. Transporter says no. All right, I'm lost. Come on, guys. She might not have expelled the afterbirth because she has more kittens to birth. See, that's what we were wondering. And I've rubbed her belly. I've been like, massaging and rubbing her belly, and because she's like heaving a little bit when she's breathing, and nothing else has popped out yet that we've seen. We used baby washcloths for blankets. Yeah, I mean it's little, guys. It's really little. This is too much. I don't know. I wasn't prepared for any of this. Welcome, Emily. Good to see you again. She is what when you rub her belly? Well, she's not like, oh, that's what I was gonna say. If I put them down by her underneath her belly, and I'll like touch underneath her belly to move the hair away from like the nipple area so that they can maybe latch on, she rolls back like she knows what she's supposed to do, and she'll like lay back and she'll expose her stomach all the way back so that they can get in there to do that, but they don't do that. And then if it meows, she goes over and she checks it and licks it and does this and that. I mean, these have got to be the cleanest kittens I've ever seen in my life, because she cleans the shit out of them, okay? But that's all that she's doing. And then if we sit outside with her, if we're sitting there, she'll stay in the bed with him. As soon as we get up and go in the house for anything, she walks away. I don't get it. I was wagon engineer, but what happened last night? I changed it. Oh, what happened last night? I figured that, engineer or Emily, but what happened last night? That's kind of what we come to the conclusion of, Transporter, that they weren't ready yet. Okay, they still need to bake it a little bit longer. Kind of how I was putting it. No, it's not. Will also breathe through its mouth. I have to look after loads of pups as a dog handler. I got you, buddy. Thank you. And if you start messing with this one, it'll roll around and twist and turn, and stretch its little feet out and do this thing, you know what I mean? And it meows and whines and complains. So, person was treating my mods. He was going to what? Are you serious? Threatening your mods. I didn't know you had a channel, Emily. I don't understand what's wrong with people. Failure to thrive. So you have to be mom until they can feed from their mom. Now, if I do that, though, here's the thing. If I continuously do that stuff with them, when it comes time, is she going to let them do that then? That's not cool at all, Emily. Like that kind of bothers me. Who was the person? It wasn't nobody from in here, was it, Emily? That's crazy. What is your, by the way, what is your channel name, Emily? I would love to, what's up, Life and Love? I would love to put it out there for you. I'm sorry that you had to go through that too. That's crazy. Wow. Well, thank you guys for all the advice. So I know what I'll be doing. Save me. Yeah, that is awful. Right. I got you. I got you. That makes sense, Transporter. Yeah, it is kind of scary. Okay, I got you, Pookie. Always, Mike. Always got something new in my crazy life. I mean, I don't mind doing it at all. You know what I mean? I'd rather do that and hope that it survives than not. You have to try to not. Wait, have you tried to, now don't laugh, but try and rub her? Yes, I have, Molly, and I squeezed a little too. I even took the milk mixture that I made and I squirted a little bit down there on the nipple, thinking that maybe if they had a little taste for it, they would latch on and start doing that. Nothing happened. So, yeah, it was through the vet. It was every 2 hours. Thank you, Brandy. There's Emily's link, guys, to her channel. Again, I didn't know that you had a channel on, or I would have done this before. Nothing happened, Molly. And she's not really engorged down there. Like I feel like she should be at this point, you know. So I don't know, folks. This has not been fun, to say the very least. It's been kind of stressful. So, well, we're having cat time with Dago. I do too. So yeah, thank you for that. If not, then you know nature is going to run its course. I get it, but I just don't want that to happen. That's all. It's a little too sad. So then what happens normally in these situations if they don't produce their milk? How do these kittens eat normally then? Okay, I got you. I understand. One moment here. I mean, yeah, that would make sense, life and love, but I don't know anybody else that. Welcome, Kyra. Good to see you, and congratulations for becoming a member. Good to have you here. We got a new meatball, everybody. I got it. I got it. That makes sense, everyone. What's up? Red KMR. What's that mean, sir? Got you. I got you too, transporter. Okay, so I got that part down. So, um, kitten will replace. Thanks, Red. But I really appreciate your guys' info on this. This is just sad to me. Like I said, I was sitting there this morning and I leaned down, checking on them again as they went outside, and I moved, and the black one starts moving around, and then the orange one didn't, and I'm like, oh no. And I noticed that his little mouth was just agape just a little bit, and he wasn't moving, and I'm like, no. And me and my wife had just gotten off the phone about talking about them and this and that. Yeah, I was looking for the heating pad thing too. I know, Molly. I know you would. I appreciate that, hun. So, and I reached down and I touched it, and it was still slightly warm. I mean, they've always had a chill to them. They're not super warm to begin with. And it was still slightly warm, and I was like kind of like rubbing it a little bit and moving it, and it wasn't moving or responding. And it's like, and I got a little teary eyed, and it's like, come on, man, why is this happening? Whatever. It's a real thing. It's called KMR. Okay, I gotcha. Powdered kitten milk. Walmart. Well, she works near a Walmart, so I can tell her to pick some up on her way home. It's the brand name KMR. Okay. Thank you all. And see, we asked about that too, though, about that kind of stuff, and he said it's better to do regular milk with this and that. Okay, whatever. That's okay, life and love. I appreciate all you guys for all your info and input. I do. I have a bad feeling that it's not gonna. I don't know. I just feel like it's not gonna work out, and I don't know if that's me just being in defensive mode so that I don't get upset again or what, but I don't know. Thank you, Sunshine. I do appreciate that. I really do. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That is so very sweet of you, Sunshine. More than you know. It's very much appreciated. You can use a hot water bottle wrapped in blankets to help keep it warm. Preemie kittens will pass more because it cannot stay warm and it's hard to keep them warm enough. That's kind of what I was thinking. That's why we had that little heater sitting there. But if I wrap it up, so you think I should wrap it Molly, and keep it against like my body skin. Well, my body's, you know what I mean, against my body itself. Well, thank you, April. I am gonna try it. Definitely gonna try and do it. It's not even big enough for like a nipple, I don't think, to go in its mouth at this point. That's why we were using the syringe. Thin the milk down. You can use water if you have to. Okay. Well, that I didn't do. We just used straight milk with the eggs. So, okay, it's probably too thick then. If you feed them, you also got to make them pee. And yeah, I heard that too, Red, already. I just don't know how to do that. Well, somebody just said to massage that area. So, Joy, this is insanity, folks. She's not, Red. I don't think she knows what to do other than taking it out of my hand and putting it back in the bed with her. I had a special bra for my baby possums, and when they look like baby monkeys and crawling everywhere you call, an actual possum wrangler, and I'm not joking, and they take them. Okay. Yeah, we do. That's a fact, life and love. I appreciate you guys so very much, too. Oh, my God. So, I just completely lost my train of thought. As you guys heard that's what I was doing. 1 second. I'm trying to subscribe to Miss Emily's channel. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, you guys are just awesome. I appreciate that. Hell yeah, Brandy. I love coffee cups. Emily Engineer. Here we go. Subscribe. There we go. I am now subscribed, Miss Emily. Did I figure out my nipple situation? No, I'm using a tiny little syringe, Mikey. Have y'all seen the bird fly? Letitia, she's a mess. She is a mess. Yes, I am subscribed, Miss Emily, and I will be checking out your stuff too. Okay, I got that all set up good. You're right, Mike. Thank you, Sylvia. So, anyway, back to what I was trying to get at. But yes, I am now subscribed to you, Emily. Did anybody have anything over the past week or anything new? Anything at all? That's what today was about that you guys wanted to talk about. Gently rubbing a warm, wet paper towel on the kittens. You know what? So they will pee and poop in the paper towel. Okay, thank you, Molly. Appreciate that. I finally got some videos in the works, so I've been busy with my store lately. Okay. Your store? I didn't know you had a store. Life, Love, and True Crime. What kind of a store do you have, my dear? And again, like I said, is there anybody or anything anybody here wanted to touch base on? You wanted to talk about in regards to any of the cases that we've been working on? Anything new? Thank you, Mama Bear. Appreciate you. Anybody interested in supporting the channel? Anything is appreciated at this time, guys. Please feel free to donate via Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App, as I always say, and I appreciate you so very much for those of you that do or will. Thank you so much, Mama Bear. I hope your head feels better soon, dear. Thank you, Molly, dear. I love you so much for that. You have no idea. And so does Mrs. Dago. She appreciates anything you guys are giving us as far as info. Like I said, if we would have known she was pregnant, I mean, we're those type of people that we would have immediately like looked into everything and started preparing for it, right? But we had no clue, guys. There was nothing to even. She's tiny. I'll have to show you guys one day, but she's just a little thing, okay? I mean, she's bigger than like a kitten, but she's just like 7 months old, right? Okay, so we had no clue, and if we would have known, we would have been like super prepared for this, but we weren't. So I'm under severe thunderstorm lots of damage. Well, we're back to that again, huh, Brandy? I'm sorry, dear. Be safe. Elizabeth says the UK is updating or testing their emergency alerts. If a person has a hidden phone, it will go. Wait, what? And where did it go? Hold on. If a person has a hidden phone, it will go off during this update, and if possibly if in DV. Oh, okay, that's interesting. I don't want any more storms. I can't go through that again. That was so insane. All the crazy winds and stuff. That was nuts. I was done with it. I'm hoping we're done with it. I've heard something's coming again, but you never know. Good Lord. All right, so yeah, same here. All right, let's see. Okay, so thank you, Mama Bear. That sounds like a bad idea for those that don't want their assailant knowing they have it. Yeah, that's kind of my thought. Like, that's not a good thing. Which in turn is why I believe that was brought up. Save me from myself. Thanks, sweetie. In other words, a woman in military. Yeah, that's not cool at all, Cookie. That's kind of a dangerous thing. Other than, I mean, then the phone has to be on to get the update, I take it. Yeah, that's not good. Not at all. Gotcha. I see that now. Let's see here. Let's see what the other updates I had for you guys. Like I said, we're just bouncing around a little bit everything. hence the open discussion. Just keeping you guys refreshed on stuff that's going around in case you didn't know it. Some of you guys weren't in here the other day. Here, let me give you guys this here real quick on the Bulley case that over in the UK. It's not a lot, but it's a little bit of an update. I thought was semi-interested. There were divers, for those of you that didn't know, I had talked about it the other day, that went back to the river weir. Yeah, that would be horrible, Red. And we're looking, from what I understand, they were looking for, the way it was described, as an item per se, because we had talked about it just a tiny little bit in here. Now, I don't know what item they would be looking for. I said maybe they were trying to check the water to see if maybe, during the autopsy, they did find water in her, to see if the water matches the river, if that's the body of water she was in the whole time, because I said I didn't believe she was. But then I noticed they were doing like back floats by the weir there, to see if she could float back over it if the river was up. And I don't think that was successful at all, which I, again, didn't think that was possible. No, you're okay, Elizabeth. That's absolutely... I'd prefer you guys were in chat than just listening out in the bushes, as you guys put it. But either way, I'm fine with it. You know what I'm saying? As long as you're here, I'm 100% grateful to see you or know that you're there listening. But I appreciate you talking. Absolutely. Yeah, that's crazy, though, that scenario there. That's dangerous. Thank you, Life Love. I appreciate that. But yeah, so divers were out again, and these are police divers, investigators, checking that stuff out, which, again, guys, we had already said that there's no way, even if the river rises, that she could go back up over that weir, I don't think. And she didn't, in my opinion. So and the proof on that is to see if she went in downriver somewhere else. Well, she obviously did, because I'm pretty sure she was not in that water until the day before they found her. So here's a little. I think they're investigating the cause of her death now. So yes, that's true, Mama Bear. We do love when people talk with us. Very much so. About anything, to be honest with you guys, and Mama Bear can tell you this, as you guys all well know, I like to talk, and my ADHD makes it worse. So when you guys start talking about something, I will finish it for you 100%, and I won't shut up. And like I said, I know I get on her nerves at times because I just always talk. So but I was going to show you guys little bits and pieces of different things I could to keep you guys updated on some of the stuff. Like I said, that's kind of what we're talking about, because I do have a bigger story that we're going to be covering here, probably coming this week if I can get enough info on it. It's big, and it's in regards to the Idaho 4 case. And there's a lot to it. I just have to have it organized and sorted out the right way. That's what I've been working on. We do have some little bit of new info on Maddie Kingsbury as well. Sylvia, I can give you that too, but let's do this first. And I always do this every time, you guys. Hold on. There we go. And up we go. All right. Let me know how the audio sounds, if there is any. I don't remember if I previewed this or not, but I know I wanted to show you guys, so I may not have previewed this. There's a couple that are just like this. Let me move that down. Stretch this out. There we go. And do that. There it is. So it's saying here that they're reportedly trying to confirm her cause of death. Okay, so that tells me that based on the which we all know on this case, guys, that the autopsy itself is way behind. Okay, we should have got autopsy results on this a month ago. So even with toxicology, okay, and I've been questioning that for about a month now. To be honest with you, this is Nicola Bulley, Pookie. Oh, I thought you were talking to me, but that's a good point, Pookie. But again, so if they're in the river and they're searching for something to confirm her cause of death, that's a little off to me. You know, did she drown or not drown? So if here's the thing, if they did an autopsy on her or a post-mortem as they call it over there, I would think that whoever the coroner or medical examiner is would have found water in her lungs and her stomach for sure. Okay. And maybe they didn't, and that's why they're here. I'm not sure. This is a little questionable for me. And it says they were trying to confirm the cause of death and are looking in an area less than 1 mile from where Nicola was last seen in St. Michael's on the Weir River in Lancashire. Lancashire police confirmed divers were carrying out work. Oh, wait a minute. Carrying out work in the River Weir it's going way too fast. As part of the investigation. Okay. We can confirm this is us carrying out some work at the direction of the HM coroner. An inquest into her death is to be heard on Monday, June 26th. See, why do they wait so long for that? That doesn't make sense to me. That's nuts. Nuts. Crazy. Oh, what's going on now? Are you kidding me? He's being investigated. It's just on the down low. Nicola's mom and dad have the girls. Well, yeah, that's that. Well, that was the next piece of info I was going to give you guys. I got a bit of info, as you all had heard me talk about multiple times, that Mr. Paul is being her partner is being very quietly investigated. Okay. They have reasons to believe what they have. So, and they don't want it broadcast from what I understand because they don't want it to be blown up probably in social media and things like that. The kids have been with Nicola's mom and dad since pretty much she was found, and I think before, to be honest with you. So they're looking at something, guys, and I think this all reverts back to probably starting around January 10th. I had another piece of info that was given to me about people making notice of injuries that Paul and Emma had on their faces when this first started. We all know that Paul had that possible black eye. Okay, well, there were some other injuries possibly that Emma was working on herself in the beginning. So that leads you to believe, like, well, what's going on here? Okay. So I'm going to show you this here. This is Mama Bear sent me this a while back, and I want to give this to you just to see what you guys think. One moment, guys. Okay. Yeah, I had gotten that same info, Pookie, as I was looking into it. You're okay, Sandra. Don't worry about that. I don't think many people did, Sandra. Letitia Staunch is just something else. I'll be honest with you. She really is. All right. Again, guys, let me know what you think as we look at this here real quick.
Because I don't go by a staged disappearance. We're focused on a bench, and harness is slow on the floor. And then a comical story about balls like there. We just did it staged. I could be wrong. But to me it looks staged because I don't see any CCTV cameras picking up anywhere. I don't see a witness saying they saw it in the bench.
Hello there, my name's Alan. I am the armchair detective. Of course I am. If I say a name to you, Dr. Richard Shepherd, you've probably never heard of him. More of that later. First of all, I must apologise for coming on so late in my hometown of England. It's because a week ago today I played something that was copyrighted, and my mistake, hold your hands up, made a mistake, and YouTube banned me for a week. I'm sorry about that, and it ended at 10 o'clock tonight. So I couldn't do anything until 10 o'clock tonight, so I come on as soon as I could. I hope you had a great Easter weekend. I went away to Cornwall for 4 days. I will make a program on that at a later date. I did a lot of filming on the pirates and stuff like that for you in Cornwall. If you've ever been to Cornwall, it's a beautiful place, lots of hills. Anyway, that's what I did the weekend, so I made use of my time. I've also been really practicing my art career. I hope you might see an improvement in my paintings. I don't care what other people say about them. I suffer from depression. My doctor said get a hobby, so I chose painting, and I'm doing it, and I'm loving it. It's relaxing. I can tell you that painting is great for you. The other little gripe I've got, I'm getting lots of emails saying that other creators are trashing me like hell. Bully creators. I don't know why. I refuse to trash any creators at all. I never do. I don't get involved. I know why they do it, because my name brings views, and if they trash me, they get people saying, yeah, I'm going to give them a bad man, right? So I know why they do it. I'm not going to do it or even respond or give them a name check. I'm not interested. So you won't be able to do it. It's a great shame when we're trying to get some justice for a case that they choose instead to attack poor old lady again. I've had it for 5 years, but so I'm used to it. But I will say, tonight's programme, I had some help from a guy called Eddie Vinyl. Now, how can I put this? Week one, I had a lot of suspicions about the partner and Emma. Yeah, of course I had them. Everybody did. But I refused to look at them at all in those early days. I refused because I knew they were going to get it big time, and they got it big time, and I kept out of it. But it came to my attention of what's going to happen in the Nicola Bulley case. And I will tell you that tomorrow night, my investigations tell me that there's going to be a complete close down of the case. I'll tell you why tomorrow night, but tonight I've got other things to tell you, but there's interlinks. So I have to now put forward the evidence I have about Emma, the evidence I have about Paul. All of it, but some of it, the questions need to be asked. I just watched a program on BBC called Hard Talk, where they ask the hard questions. Tonight, I'm going to have to ask the hard questions of Emma White and Paul. I am going to have to, because of what I'm going to say tomorrow. I know this case is going to be closed down. I want this to go out tonight so it's a public record, and you'll know what I know. It's very important you know what I know. And I didn't want to do this program, but because of what I know, and I know the whole case is going to get closed down, believe me, I know it, I'm going to tell you what I know now so you can hold that close to you, okay? What I see in the government and mainstream media and the police, they hatch a plan, right? Before the Nicola Bulley case comes out, somebody makes a channel, and I know they're going to be talking about the case when it happens, right? And they're planted. People are planted to misdirect the public. I won't tell you who they are, but they are planted. I see it over and over again. And what I've seen recently, That's made me giggle, because what they've done is set you up, public. They've set you up by letting us find out they're searching the River Wye again, by letting us see that they're searching. And luckily, our Maria was there, and they let us expose it to the general population. And then, lo and behold, yesterday, or the day before, the Sun picks it up and runs with the ball. And then today, the Mirror had a story. So the Sun had a story of the video, and then the Mirror had a story today, and the rest of the papers quote the Mirror and the Sun, right? So this is how they build it up. This is how they build it up. I've seen it right from the McCann case. They're doing it on purpose. It's not a coincidence that suddenly they're all talking about the case again. It's because they've got problems. It's because they have problems. And the problem is in credibility for the case. Closing it down by just saying, you fools on social media know what you're talking about, ain't going to work. This is my prediction. First of all, we know they're there. Today we've got a specialist, Dr. Richard Shepherd, who happens to be a company man with the government. Lawrence case, Shipman case, government man. He suddenly says to us, well, they're looking for an artifact. They're looking for a piece of something belonging to Nicola Bulley. We're being set up. Don't you understand? Within the next few days, they're going to find something. And I hate to spoil their party.
Now, I wanted you guys to know, welcome, Kim. It's okay. Don't worry, hon. I'm showing you guys this because this is another version of what's been going on. Kind of a little bit of a, kind of like the rabbit hole thing. And I just want your guys' thoughts on this. I want to know what you guys think about what he's saying. Okay, that's why I'm showing you this. In regards to what we've already looked and talked about with this case. Because we've looked at it every way we could, and we don't get anything from over there from them. So we really don't have anything to go with. So that's why I'm asking you to listen to what he's saying and to tell me what you think about what he's saying. That's all.
I don't want to pee on their parade, but they're going to find something. Shock, horror. It will be the Fitbit or something similar to the Fitbit. We found it in the water by the bench. You didn't. Oh, Michelle was right all along. She fell in by the bench. Look, we found it. That's my prediction. I could be wrong, but that's how I know they work. I might spoil it now, and they might change their mind. But this is what I see, because I'm dyslexic. I see the whole picture. I see something being found, and it will be misleading to prove that Nicola fell in the river by the bench. All right? That's what I believe because of this in the Sun day before yesterday.
Checking out what's going on. How a body can fit over the weir, wading in the water, working for the coroner, doing investigations. Breaking news on the 11th of April. The trouble is, we did it on the 4th and 5th of April. If Maria wasn't there, would there have been any proof of filming? Would they have mentioned it? I doubt it. All they're doing is reacting to YouTube, and it's taken them 6 days to do it. But finally, they've got breaking news. Well, I've got news for them. You're way too late. People that follow YouTube are way ahead of the media. I didn't think they would report it, but they have. But the good thing about media, they can contact the police and the coroner. So we do have extra words now. I was sort of hypothesizing, why were they there? Were they investigating, or were they working for the coroner? Well, we can now say that they were actually there at the request of the coroner, to do our investigating work. This is a great way that social media can help mainstream media get it out there, because they wouldn't have reported this if we didn't capture it. Okay, so thanks to Maria and my follow-up report, it's been picked up by the Mirror, the Sun, many local papers. And as you can see here, they're way behind. But the important thing is they've done it. So now it's back in the public arena. When we thought the media had gone quiet, suddenly there's breaking news. So what did they find out from the coroner? Let's have a look in the papers and see what they say. Well, the police say that divers have returned to the river, but are they divers? I didn't see any goggles. I didn't see any air tanks. No, they were just scouting around, stood up in waders, police divers. No, not what we saw. What we saw were officers wading in the water to see how deep it was, and it's not very deep at all. In fact, it's shallow everywhere, and doesn't look the danger that the sign says on the wall. So I didn't see any divers swimming. You can have a look. All I saw them doing was stood up, but no goggles. But I did see a GoPro. So maybe they had a waterproof GoPro, which would be one way of looking under the water, wouldn't it? So that's probably part of it. I don't know what the family think of this, but anyway, it's a request to the coroner. James Adley, who's the area coroner for the Lancaster, had asked the police to go and have a look for him. So we know that's for sure. But investigating the weir, not where the body was found, which is strange. So the body was found less than a mile away from this spot. But why aren't they looking there? Maybe for a GoPro or wellies, bits of clothing, but not. Anyway, so the coroner says the investigation will take time to complete to get a complete picture, if possible, of all the facts concerning Miss Bulley. We know that the inquest will be the 26th of June in Preston. How will this impact Peter Folding? At the moment, suspended from the police list. I wonder if he's got anything to say about this. He couldn't find anything. In fact, he said the body could not have been in that river. That's what he said. Now, he said that Nicola was in the river and she could have stood up if she fell in, which makes him wonder, how did she drown? If she fell into 2 feet of water and stood up, why wasn't she screaming? Why was Willowstone right? Why wasn't anybody seeing her fall in the river? And how did she become unconscious? She must have been unconscious to drown, right? How did this occur? Well, we don't know. To find out more, I got an exclusive interview with Maria Solas, which you can see on my Red channel, a 45-minute interview where we delve deep into what she did see and what she didn't see. So here are the links to the interviews concerning this search, exclusive recordings. Please have a look under this video for the links. Meanwhile, we had a word with Maria, and it's just a brief outline of what we were talking about. I mean, I was saying, was that water dangerous? Do you think it was dangerous? Does Maria think it's dangerous? Does the coroner think it's dangerous? Reading in the water. Was it dangerous water? They told us, or not? Anyway, we've got an eyewitness. Maria is going to tell us all about it. So this is the Armchair Detective in conversation with Maria.
Many YouTubers still talking about it, and everybody's still talking about it in the comments, and it's just a really good thing, because they've tried to silence it and it's not worked. No, because you filmed it, and now we've reopened that little wound, haven't we? And will mainstream media squeeze through and start reporting again? I hope so. A coroner spokesman said this investigation will take time to complete, and we want to get a complete picture. So they are actually making comments as part of the process, part of the process to produce information to be used by the coroner. So this can only be good for transparency in the case. The more that's reported, the more chance we have of getting a full inquiry. The family want to understand what occurred, because at the moment we have no idea what occurred in this river. We don't even know if she went in. We have no CCTV footage. We have no witnesses to her falling in. We have no notes. We just have an hypothesis. The police surmised that she fell in the river at that point, but honestly, most people are not so sure. But we do know they are carrying out further investigation work. Now, it remains to be seen if they're going to go back there and search the scene of where the body was found. That's the next thing you want to find out. They're going to go back there to the fan, going to the campsite. Why are they concentrating on this area? Because they're trying to see if the body could have got over the weir in the time allocated. Look how shallow it is. I think that's the only thing that they're thinking about. They're thinking, how did that body get over the weir, which is only 2 or 3 inches high? And if she did, how did they fail to find her? So let's blow.
If you guys didn't catch it, back a little bit there, he said that Peter Folding, the professional diving crew that came in looking for her, and had said she's not in the river. Multiple interviews, Peter said, I would have found her if she was in the river. She's not in the river. We looked everywhere. We don't see her. We haven't seen her after she was found. He still said that he believes she was put there after the fact because he would have found her beforehand. So as you heard, he has been suspended from the police, Lancashire police list of crews to call when they have something like this happen, because they didn't like his answer, because he didn't agree with what they were saying. That's pretty shitty, folks. Okay. in my opinion, I know Peter Paulding is not a very well liked person over in the UK. I get it, okay. But he's still a professional, and he's still a diver, and he still has to do his job to the best that he can as that person, okay? Because it's going to ruin his reputation, it's going to ruin his job, and he won't have a job at that point, right? He is the absolute best over there. Just like the way we were watching, I hate to use this name at this point, but the way we were using AWP at some point, they were our best over here at some point at doing what they were doing. He's their best over there, guys, okay? Now, I'm not saying I support AWP because I do not, and I haven't for a long time, but I'm just going to give you guys like a way to understand what I'm saying and how good he was. So good to see you, Willow. Welcome back, hon. It's great to have you here. So that being said, the police in Lancashire took him off of their to-call list when they have drownings or they're looking for somebody. At this point, Peter Paulding is not the first one they call, and he was. He's the best over there. So, in essence, guys, this is where my respect for Lancashire police has gone completely out the door. To save face, to prove their point, and that's what this doctor is saying as well. They're going to go to the lengths that they're going to make this go along with their story. Guys, that's not true justice, okay? That is nothing, nowhere near what Nicola deserves. We know that already. But at this point, this is what they're doing to make sure that their story goes the same direction and that it stays in that direction, that nobody can change it. Because as soon as Peter said what he said, they were done. That was it. They X'd him off. They were angry with him. They stopped talking to him. They even disagreed with him in a press conference. And they're at this point, from what I understand, they're trying to make him look bad, okay? Whatever. I agree, Sylvia. It does seems very suspicious, and BS is a fact, okay? And shame on them, 100%, because that is not what the people in the UK, in the Lancashire area need. They look to the police to serve and protect just as they do here in the United States. They're not doing it, guys. They're not doing it, okay? So they've taken him off the list. They're basically trying to defraud him as the best diver in the UK and ruin his reputation, okay? Correct, Sandra, if I'm pronouncing it wrong, I'm sorry. He was saying that if she would have been in the river, he would have found her. And I agreed. He said that more than once, guys. I showed it to you guys. He said it in probably 3 to 4 different interviews at 3 to 4 different times. If she was there, we would have found her. If she was there, we would have found her. If she was there, we would have found her. If she was there, we would have found her. But they didn't. And I told you guys, they just showed where she was. And he basically, without saying it, Kim, yes, very much so. And I told you guys before she was found, please tell me, please put a 1 in the chat if you remember hearing this out of my mouth. I told you guys a week, maybe 2 weeks before she was found, I said, you guys, that woman, and I told you also from the beginning, Mama Bear, if she's still in here, she can agree with this because she was right there with me, and she had the same feeling. Okay? I said, when this first happened, I said, that woman did not fall in that river. She's not in that river, and she will not be in that river. Period. Okay? End of story. And about 2 weeks before she was found, I said to you guys, if you remember this, like I said, this is where I want you to put the 1 in the chat. I said, guys, she's going to turn up in the river. I promise you that. But when I tell you she's turning up in the river, it means she was put there way after the fact, not from the beginning. Somebody put her in the river because they keep saying she's in the river. And I'll be damned, within 2 weeks, on the 19th, guess what happened? Somebody put her in the river. These are facts, folks. These are facts. And I told you guys, Miss Pamela, who is on our investigative team over in the UK, okay? She messaged me on the night, I was doing a live stream that night. It was one of my midnight series streams that I was doing on the true story on the movie, right? She messaged me our time at, it was 9:45 p.m. if I remember correctly. I still have it. And she said, Joe, there's a massive police presence at Inskip, which is where Paul and Nicola's home was. There's police helicopters over top flying around. They were setting up tents, but massive police presence, which means it was her time. It was like 1 a.m. Okay. Most of the police force was there in that area. And I said to you guys, now that was the Friday before she was found, which was the early morning hours of the 17th going into the 18th. She was found on the 19th. Remember this. Okay. So early morning hours of the 18th, there was a huge police presence in that area, which would detract all attention from anything else in that area over to Inskip for whatever they were doing. I told you guys, I said, gee, what better time? Sorry, guys. What better time to move a body when everybody else is paying attention to something else? And I mean, everybody is paying attention to what's going on over at Inskip. It would be very easy to go take a body and move it, pull up in that area she was found in, roll that body down that hill to that area right there. Okay? And remember, I told you that Emma White's farm backed right up to that river area right there. The property line did it. Backed right up to it, folks. Now, I'm not saying, and one more thing, just to understand, this is all alleged and purely speculation, okay? Now, that being said, amazingly enough, there was a psychic that appeared that said, I saw her floating, but they found her in the reeds, right? And if you looked at that area, Curtis videoed this whole spot. I'm not agreeing with him on that because that was wrong. I'm sorry. That's just not right. So somebody very easily could have backed a vehicle right up to that area, jumped out, because this was 1 a.m. Nobody's out there at that time. Everybody's either in bed or, again, all the attention was over at Inskip, watching what the hell was going on over there, and jumped out, took a body out of the vehicle, and rolled the body down the hill into that spot and drove off. End of story. So now at that point, here we are here now. Okay, we're back here. And they are trying to find something to verify their story, because I'm telling you, the autopsy should not. If that woman drowned, they would have come out a month ago and said, they wanted to be able to come out and say a month ago, her cause of death was drowning. End of story. Case closed. Move along. That way they can shut everything down and be done with it, guys. They haven't done that. There's a reason. Because they can't. Because they know that no matter what they say, if they're wrong, it's going to be, the inquest is coming in June. It's going to be looked at, and somebody is going to put them out there as being liars and not doing their jobs, because they haven't. They've dropped the ball multiple times throughout this case. We know that. So now they're here trying to find something to prove what they're trying to say to everybody. Like he's saying, and it's not going to happen, folks, because there is nothing to prove it. I'm telling you, that woman does not have water in her lungs. If she does, it's such a minute amount from being in the water for whatever period of time she was. She didn't drown. I told you before, I think that she was strangled. I really do. And I showed you why I thought she was strangled, because we showed you the picture that Mama Bear had found. Thank you once again, Mama Bear. Of the bruise on the back of her neck. That woman was being abused physically, okay? At some point in time, she had been abused. End of story. Now, let's remember once again, January 10th, there was a domestic issue that happened at their address, okay? And if you remember, Lancashire police said, quote unquote, nobody was arrested that day, but that is still under investigation. I've gone through this and repeated this to you guys a lot of times for a reason. Why is it under investigation if it was a closed deal? They went there, they dealt with it, it's done, it's over with. No one was arrested. Why would that be important? And the investigation is ensuing. Why? What are they investigating? Okay. And then 7 days later, was it 7? Yeah, 7 days later, she disappears. Put this together, guys. He's smart. I'm telling you. And now we're here. They sent the police back out knowing that they're going to be seen. Okay. They know that people are going to see them. They're not trying to hide anything. They're out in the open. So they're being seen right now, doing what they're doing. And they made sure that it was put out there, whether it was leaked or however, that they're looking for something involving Nikki in this case. What the hell could they be looking for? Because it is all going to go back and fit in with their story to prove their point, to make them look good, because they're full of shit. It is. It's a smoke and mirrors show is what this is, you guys. Thank you for that, Sylvia, because that's what it is. It's all smoke and mirrors. They're trying to pass this by as one thing while we're looking over here, and it's going to be over there. You see what I'm saying? This is what they're doing, guys. And I've said this from the beginning of this investigation. When she first went missing, I said, this is dirty. Something's wrong. And I don't like it. And Mama Bear was right there with me saying the same damn thing. End of story. I showed you guys videos of the closed caption TV. I don't care what anybody says. That was not Nikki. I do not believe that Nikki was at the dog park walking that day with Willow. I still don't, and I won't. I don't care what they tell me. I told you that if she would have went into the water, this is another thing. Remember all these things I'm telling you guys. If Nikki would have went in that water, Willow would have went nuts. Either jumped in with her or chased her downriver if she floated downriver. But wait, the cops are right here proving, this is stupid in a sense, by the way. The cops are right here proving that if Nikki fell in that water, she could have stood up because they're knee deep in this water, folks. End of story. Proof positive. Let Mama Bear say this is real life, not a TV show. It doesn't work the same way. That's a fact. Don't forget, guys, Miss Emma and Mr. Paul are both actor and actresses. It is a show. They're definitely good actors, Mama Bear. I agree with that one. Oh, yeah, there's that too. They also didn't erect a tent until Larry and Mo dropped her 19 times in pieces. Yeah, that's true too. If you just laid her on that stone fence, opened a body bag, and just flipped her out, we have rolled down the hill. Know what the cops didn't do, cordon off that area, because they never did that. There has not been a crime scene one time in this case. Why? There was no suicide note, found. Okay. There was, according to the Lancaster police, there's no third party involvement and they don't suspect foul play. Well, something else is wrong then. They didn't look into it. This law enforcement agency is a joke. I'm sorry. In my opinion, Willow, yeah. They have been on my list from day one. In turn, that's why he's being investigated on the DL. And has been from the beginning. But they have to keep it quiet because they know it'll happen on social media, first of all. He's abusive. He's self-centered. He's broke. What else do you need? Yeah, I kind of wondered that myself, Willow. I really kind of wondered that. But here's the thing. I don't think that actually happened the way you guys look at it as happening. I don't. I think everything that happened that day at the dog walk was a completely staged scene. Every single bit of it. And ask me why. Why would I say that that was staged, folks? Guys, give me one moment. I'll be right back. Sorry. Sorry, folks. I'm sure they did. Emma was her best friend and Paul was her partner. How hard would it be to know her password for her phone? It could have been a fingerprint. It could have been anything. Here's what I think happened, okay? This is one more little piece of info, guys. I forgot to throw this in here a few minutes ago. It's been proven she went and spent the night with her mom and dad the night before she went missing. Okay, that's a big why, first of all, okay? But regardless, we'll let that go. So she went and did that, right? Then she comes home the next morning, supposedly, to pick up Willow and take the kids to school and go do what she's doing, walk the dog, and then she disappears, right? I don't think so. She left the night before for a reason. I don't think whatever the reason was, the disagreement, argument that caused her to leave was not finished. I think she came home, and this is 100% speculation and alleged, guys. I don't know this for a fact. I'm just telling you what my theory is, okay? I think she came home in the morning and was attacked. Or the rest of the argument ensued and something happened, okay? And I still believe she was choked out or strangled. Okay, and now what? So I think somebody put on her coat, but not her hat, because Nikki always wore hats. That person didn't, okay? And I think she took the dog to the park to stage that whole scene and went on about her business. And I think that Nikki was put somewhere for a while. And as investigators started getting closer to something, and all of us YouTubers started getting closer to something and knowing what actually probably happened, because it had been said so many times by law enforcement that she was in the river, that they said, let's go put her in the river because she's in the river, even though they said she's not in the river. And I think the whole scene was staged to look like that happened. because nothing else makes any sense, guys. Nothing. Everything was looked at. Nobody saw anything. And there was people that said, yes, that they saw her there, so on and so forth. They saw the dog there, guys. And everybody that goes there knows who that dog is. And because of who that dog is, they know who that dog belongs to. So if you see a woman in a blue coat, people don't get up in each other's faces. So what somebody saw was a blonde woman in a blue coat walking Willow. Who would that be? That's Nikki. Unless you know better. Okay? Thank you again, Brandy. Yeah, right, Willow. We went over that CCTV footage multiple times. I showed you guys everything, single piece of what I could to show you the proof that I thought I had. What else is there, guys? They didn't see Nikki. They saw the dog and a woman with blonde hair and a blue coat is what they saw. And that includes Penny and Ron and Ron's wife. End of story. I'll be honest with you, Pookie. Here's my thought right here. This is just my opinion. It doesn't mean anything. But I'll be honest, and this is nothing against anybody that lives in the UK. I love our people from the UK. Okay? But I'll be honest with you guys. I think that law enforcement in the UK, at least in this realm, is very lazy. And it's so much easier to just say it was an accident, misadventure, or a self-unaliving. Because it closes the case, it's done, it's over, moving on. You don't have to do any police work. If there's foul play or another third party involved, then all of a sudden we have to do a police investigation. Period. Well, they very well might be related, Pookie. Oh, Willow, that house is a crime scene. I promise you that house is a crime scene. Without a doubt. I have no doubt in my mind. Now, if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. And I'm sorry. I'll tell you right to your faces I'm wrong. I don't mind being wrong. But I really, 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 really do not feel like I am. I feel so strong about this, guys. I have gone back and forth with Mama Bear and Molly and a few other people. And I've told all you guys multiple things. I've showed you guys multiple things that proves the things that I'm talking about. What else is there? This little show that we're looking at here, this is a joke. This here is a joke. This is an agency that is trying to cover their shortcomings so that they don't look like fools that they are. Because they are. And you know why they're foolish too? From day one, we had little Superintendent Sally. We had how many different law enforcement officials that spoke on this for the press? Each time there was a different one. Each time. We did not get the lead investigator on the case until we asked for her. Everybody said, where's the lead investigator? Where's the lead detective? We haven't seen or heard from that person yet. Why? No answer. And then all of a sudden, guess what? Guess who we got? The lead investigator. What kind of police service is that? That makes no sense to me. They let it go too far because they were lazy. And then because they're used to being lazy, guys, that's what it is. Okay. And when they realized that it had gone too far, they couldn't be lazy anymore. It was too late. So now they have to try to fix it. And by doing that, here we are. Look at that.
Well, what is it? 250?
Look at this.
Maybe less.
Who drowned in that, guys? You tell me.
So I zoomed in just to see.
Now, don't forget one other thing that's very important. Nicola Bulley was a very, very, very avid and very conducive swimmer, guys. So she drowned in knee-high water, being that good of a swimmer.
And all I can see is two officers without goggles.
GTFOH.
But carrying a GoPro. That's what I see. My conclusion is they're doing specific tests. That's what they're doing. To see what's possible and what's not possible.
They're testing out things, aren't they? Could a body have gotten over there? Obviously, they've been told that it's impossible for you not to find Nicola Bulley in that confined space. So they're trying to do tests to show a way that she could have escaped further away and not be found. So I want you to see here how non-dangerous the water is. They're wading. They're walking around the river. Yes, it is about 20 foot wide.
Now, one other thing that's important here, guys, okay? You're looking at this river. This is probably the most, and I'm talking about the very most and the fastest I've ever seen this river moving. That's really it. Okay, so how in the hell it just wasn't possible for her to float all the way down there and not be seen by not only Peter Faulding, but all the police divers that went looking for her first and afterwards. Nobody saw her, right? No. I'm sorry, but no. Miss Alexis, good to see you, my dear. Thanks for joining us. And we did that too, Pookie. We looked up the tides. Mama Bear was right there with it. So was Molly. We were looking at the tides, the times. Pamela gave it to us, high and low. The current, none of it matched anything. There was nothing. You see that man standing there, waist deep. The water's not pushing him. If Nikki would have fell in that water, maybe she stepped back, slipped off the bank, fell in the water. Guess what, guys? She'd have stood right back up, laughing, shaking herself off for embarrassment, climbed out of the water, and walked away. That's what she'd have done. But that's not what happened, so she couldn't do that. Great to see you, Alexis. I'm great to see you back in here. Okay, Willow, no problem, hon. Thanks for being in here. Again.
But is it dangerous? Is it dangerous? That's the question. Well, they're not in any danger. And I do know that local swimmers go there
Look
to
at
learn
him.
how to swim
Look,
water. So
this guy right here.
Look at him.
He's not even knee high, I don't think yet. That's a little bit above his ankles, guys. And this guy's at his waist. So it does go up and down, but not deep enough for somebody to drown in it. And that's what I said. That's what I said, Mama Bear. If I said that way long time ago, because I was sitting here thinking about the way that dog was and watching videos of that dog with her, hearing people talk about that dog with her, and remembering one comment that Miss Emma said, which is what screwed this all up for everybody, in my opinion. It screwed their story up because Emma couldn't keep her mouth shut, okay? Remember back when Miss Emma did her little interview, okay? And somebody asked her about a tennis ball, right? And she said, no, that stopped a while ago. And he said, why? And he goes, because she wouldn't leave you alone. If you threw the tennis ball, she would grab it and run the ball and bring it right back to Nikki. And she was basically shoved up Nikki's behind. She was stuck to Nikki like glue constantly. So guess what, guys? If Nikki fell in the water, the dog went in the water with her. I will give every dime I ever have on that. That dog would have jumped right in that water behind her to stay with her. And if not, I said this to Mama Bear, if the dog maybe had a fear of water or something, which I doubt, okay, then she would have chased her, or she'd have been standing at that bank barking. If Emma wouldn't have came back out of that water, she'd have started barking. If she'd have watched, I'm sorry, not Emma, Nikki. If she'd have watched Nikki float down the river, she'd have chased her down the riverbank and eventually probably jumped in the water either way. But she didn't. The dog was bone dry. And then, in my opinion, here's another little piece of something. Okay. When they found the dog, she was running between the gate and the bench. The gate and the bench. And you know why? Because she was confused. Because Mama or Nikki wasn't there with her. And that's who she was looking for. She never was. That's why Willow was confused, folks. Welcome, Miss Pamela. I hope you're feeling better, darling. Thanks for joining us. And here, I'm glad Pamela is in here right now, you guys. In the very beginning of this, Miss Pamela said, and I respected it. I absolutely respected it. In the very beginning, Miss Pamela said, I think she went in the water. I think she may have fallen in the water. I think she went in the water, so on and so forth, like everybody else is saying. And slowly but surely, Miss Pamela started saying, I don't know. I don't know, Joe. I don't know. I'm starting to doubt this little by little. And Pamela's right there. Am I wrong, Pamela? And I'm not saying that she believes what my theory is, but she does doubt what they told us it was, okay? And that's their fault. Nothing but their fault, okay? Because I have shown over and over and over again multiple reasons why that was not the way it happened. I'm glad to hear you're feeling better, hon. I'm sorry that you had to take all that crud to get you feeling better, but you must have had what I had a few months back. And there it is, folks. Like she just said it. Spot on. Bingo. And mind you, for those of you that don't know, Miss Pamela is a retired Greater Manchester police officer and would know some of these things, okay? And still does not agree with that situation. What else do I need to say? Now we're watching this show over here where they are trying to prove their case, to make something look like, to find something to make what they're saying look right. And they're not going to, guys. It's not going to happen. There is no way on God's green earth that body flowed back up over that weir. We know that. There's no way that woman went in that water the day that she went missing. We all know that. There's no way that any of this situation happened. We all know that now. And I'm telling you, somebody either backed up or pulled up to that spot and let that body go down over that wall and roll right into those reeds. And that's why she was stuck there. We all know that too. Okay, one moment, folks. Sorry about that. And that's the question of the year, Sherry. Why haven't we gotten an autopsy report? But here we are, as they're looking for things to prove her cause of death. Well, you're in the wrong place to do that. But they have to do it like this because this is what they've told the public, guys, that she went in the water. So they have to find something to make it look like she went in the water because they're going to look like fools if they don't. So that's why we're seeing this little game go on here. And it really angers me because you guys know what my channel stands for, okay? I say it over and over again. We are the voice here for the voiceless. Nikki doesn't have a voice, okay? But luckily, the actions of everybody else around her are speaking for her, guys. And I'm the one that is speaking for that. June 26th is the inquiry. And I'm real curious to see what the hell that has to say. Because if it doesn't say very close to what I've been saying, I'm going to say it's a lie. I'm sorry, but I'm going to say it's a lie. That's right. That's exactly right, Sylvia. It has to flow with the narrative because they're going to look, they need to redeem themselves as a law enforcement agency, and they're not doing it. Okay. This does nothing here but make it worse, in my opinion. See, there it is. I believe it's in June, which it is, June 26th. We just saw that. I believe, but it may only be a preliminary report. Full coroner's report could take till October, November. It's insanity. I'm sorry. What's up, Derek? Good to see you, brother. And that's it too, April. It's too late. No matter what they do here, guys. Okay, no matter what they do here, nobody is going to believe that. And the preliminary cam should show at least the cause of death. Okay. And the mode, I would say, or manner of death, possibly, in my opinion. But as Pam's saying here, it's very possible that we don't get the entire coroner's report until October, November, which I think that's just ridiculous. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. Yes, it will be, Sylvia. June's going to be a big month, period, because we have this. We also have the Koberger scenario going down in June, so it's going to be a very busy month. As far as I know, these new searches are to get measurements of different heights of riverbanks. Okay. That's fine, Pam. Well, they were also floating on their backs up near the weir here, and somebody had said that. Well, this gentleman said that he believes it was trying to see if her body could float back up over the weir, which I don't see how that would happen because of the current pushing one direction. For the strongest part of the current is pushing in that direction. And even when it comes back, it would really have to like jam her up there and be pushing hard is what I'm saying. I agree with that, Pookie. And a cousin's son died unexplained way back in September last year. Full results. I got you. I got you, Pam. I understand. And I know, what are you going to do about the timetable? You can't control that. So we will know, I hope, the truth eventually, guys. But, let me let this finish playing here real quick.
He's just walking around. Where's the danger? The only danger could be that Nicola was somehow unconscious. And if she was unconscious and drowned, she would have sunk to the bottom. So how wasn't she found?
Yeah,
it's the same questions. Well,
Sarah's in June. No, it was pushed to July.
How is it possible she couldn't have been found with
Mama Bear,
caliber dogs, sonar, underwater drones, the best diving teams in the country, the best private diver, Peter Folding, yet they found nothing. And suddenly the body was found the day after they stopped looking. I don't like the coincidence of that. I don't think the police do either. Is it possible that Nicola was put into that area just the day before? Is it possible? That's a scenario we're looking at on my channel. So there they are, in the middle of this desperately dangerous water, just walking around. And then you might say, well, undercurrents would drag you down, and she got caught in the reeds and all these things. But why isn't she found? I don't understand. 23 days, not found.
I think it's only fair that I answer this question. You have a good point, Night Party. Terrible name. Night Bitty. Terrible name. Awful name. I think we can mention any other creators we want to, because they're free speech. Yes. The point is, the reason we can't mention the creators, they're all slamming me. Why would I want to give creators a name check that are slamming me? They need to learn to respect me, and then I will give them name checks. But at the moment, I'm not going to mention any creator because they're all getting views from AD, and it's not a very good game, and I can see through it. That's why we don't allow creators' names in chat. Thank you very much. I'm sure you understand it. I think it's a bad name, but that's my.
And then as soon as they give up, she is found. The coincidence, of course, what was left of her body was identified by dental records, which means that was the only way to identify it at this particular time. If there was foul play, this would be an ideal scenario to put the body in so much after the event. I'm not saying that's what happened, but obviously the police have perked up their interest now, and they've got a team there working today on different scenarios. But the important thing to me is how deep the water is not. And Maria says the campsite's a lot closer than you think. It's just a stone's throw away from the bench. I mean, we all thought it was a long way from the bench, but it seems the campsite is just a stone's throw away from the bench. So there we are. That's the breaking news we have. The police are back at the river. Why? The question is why?
The question is why? Well, so imagine they're floating it back. That rivers change every day. So you can't recreate the river that was the 27th of January in March, can you? No. So then we get the truth. Today, they sent out an ex-pathologist to tell us they're looking for an artifact. Oh yeah, an artifact. I thought that was something from ancient Rome or Greek mythology. Why does he call it an artifact? Set up, scripted, I tell you.
Mainstream media taking interest. Yesterday, it sparked up a top ex-pathologist to make a comment. Dr. Richard Shepherd, a forensic pathologist who worked on high-profile cases such as...
Yes, it is, Pamela.
Has said that he thinks the specialist divers were in the River Wire near where Nicola was found, and they've been there for more than 1 day. My information, they've been there for at least 3 or 4 days. I can't confirm that, but we do know the 1 day that we confirmed with Maria. So they're searching the river where she was found.
Pookie, based on the chemical that's used, if it is absorbed into the skin, yes, they can tell if they test for that kind of stuff. If they don't test for it, they're not going to find it. Okay, this is from my paramedic days and stuff like that. That I know that. Now, I don't think there was anything like that used. I'll be honest with you. Okay. And in case you didn't hear me, Pam, yeah, that's AD. Thank you, Miss Brandy. I appreciate that, hon. So yeah, they can tell if it's something that was used, even if she was in water for a while, we'll say, depending on how much of the chemical was used, if it is absorbed into the skin, and they do testing for types of testing like that, they will be able to tell to some extreme what chemical, if any, was used. And that's exactly what Pamela said right there. It's only as good as the testing and what for. So. Oh, really, Pamela? I'm sorry, hon. My apologies. Well, we would never do that here, so. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of his, but I'm playing this video because of what he's talking about. So you deserve better, more respect than that. I'll be honest with you.
For a specific artifact, a specific artifact. That's the claim he made. Picture that in the water. That's what they're afraid of. That's what they're afraid of. The body was never found, of course, until February the 19th, 3/4 mile which went missing. Specialist cops were seen in the area late before by a fellow YouTuber, Maria Suarez, which we've reported on. If you want to hear the full interview with Maria, we can tell the full story. Look at my previous interviews on my previous videos. Now, Dr. Richard Shepherd has worked on many cases, and of course, he was an expert on the case for Harold Shipman's trial.
Good for you, darling. Good for you.
There seems to be a missing item they're looking for. Why does he think that? Well, he says he's really struggling. See what they could be looking for now that would affect or influence the cause of death. When Nicola's body was found, it would have been taken to the morgue and a formal post-mortem would have been carried out, where they would have looked for natural diseases, any injuries, samples been taken for drugs or alcohol. Dr. Shepherd says there must have been a reason for them to go back. My guess is there is something like an artifact or some sort they're trying to make sure they find. My sense is they want to be absolutely sure that something they can't quite locate isn't still in the river. My feeling, they're looking for something specific. Let's face it, the last thing police want after the social media interest, if this to come out to the inquest, there's something missing. And then it gets randomly found by the public. When asked what he thought about the possible reconstruction of events, Dr. Shepherd said, I think it's unlikely because once again, the rivers are so variable. Even if you get a model or a mannequin and put clothes on it or a real person, you can't possibly repeat what happened that day. It's impossible. Now we know from years and years of people entering rivers and lakes and the sea that there is a movement. And there are things like reeds and branches where a body can be held under in a particular place. And then something is altered and the body comes free. So they wouldn't do a reconstruction because of this context. I can't see what they are doing there in terms of cause of death, especially in something as ever-changing as a river. Even if it's a house which is kept sealed, I'd still struggle to go back and find something to alter the cause of death. It was armchair executive guest Maria Suarez that found them doing it. Otherwise, none of this would have come out. This total uproar in social media today was all due to Maria making a chance video about the police being in the water. Otherwise, we wouldn't have heard a thing. Because mainstream media were too scared to speak. They had to get it from social media. This is where social media is so important, guys. So important. Look how it's blown up now. This is me talking to Maria last week. We knew this a week ago, a week before the Mirror. I mean, the police didn't like us talking social media. It's time they took notice of us. They need us.
An eyewitness, Maria, is going to tell us all about it. So this is the Armchair Detective in conversation with Maria.
Many YouTubers still talking about it, and everybody's still talking about it in the comments, and it's just a really good thing because they've tried to silence it and it's not worked.
No, because you filmed it, and now we've reopened that little wound, haven't we? And will mainstream media squeeze through and start reporting again? I hope so.
So media are back with a vengeance, and they find themselves a top expert, a world expert that confirms they're not just doing random checks. They're looking for something, all right? And like they said, they're afraid that social media are the ones that are going to uncover it. They don't want that because they slammed social media, even arrested one YouTuber, didn't they? It's got to stop. It's about time the police work with us. Like I said, my information is they've been there 4 or 5 days. The coroner confirmed in a statement that they requested help from Lancaster Police to help produce information on the death of Nicola. A spokesman for the coroner said the investigation will take time to complete and to ensure there is a complete picture as possible of the facts concerning Miss Bulley's death.
Good point, Pamela.
Well, go on. Keep looking. They will assist the family in understanding what occurred. As part of this process, HM Senior Coroner, this is the guy that's going to do it, has requested Lancaster Constabulary produce information gathered during the search as well. So that can be considered as part of the evidence. Well, will they look at the January the 10th welfare check on Miss Bulley? The police have only said one line. We can confirm that this was us carrying out some work at the direction of the coroner. So, yeah, Maria, you were right. We're going to carry on. We're going to carry on investigating. They can't stop us, I don't think.
Now, come on. What the hell is it on with this picture? How staged is this? Dr. Shepherd, gee, what are you? You're retired forensics. Who set you up to do this? Flashing a knife in shrubs. What's the message, guys? What is the message? I believe the police have been there for 4 days now. And I believe the upshot will be a Fitbit. I'm pretty sure of it.
Dr. Shepherd worked as a forensic pathologist for 40 years and gravitated to the profession after a friend bought a copy of Simpson's Forensic Medicine at school. He has written major memoir called On Natural Causes about his time as a forensic psychologist. So he's the real deal. Look up, Google Dr. Shepherd, and you'll know that this is serious. This is serious. The questions to be asked.
Agreed again, Pamela.
Are being asked.
Well, he's on the telly, yeah?
I love it. That's awesome, Pamela.
Police looking for an object. What sort of object?
Media is back on the case. We can expect a return of the case.
Specialist police investigating Nicola Bulley's death searching river for a specific object. Police investigating Nicola Bulley's death are looking for a missing object in the river she was found in, a forensic expert has said. Specialist officers are searching the River Wyre in Lancashire 2 months on from when the mother of two vanished. Her body was found after 3 weeks of searching. Police divers have been searching the water near to where the 45-year-old was last seen. Ms. Bulley's mobile, which was connected to a remote work meeting, was found on a bench when she disappeared in January. She had been walking her dog on a towpath in St. Michael's on Wyre and it was suspected she fell into the water. Lancashire Police said it was now searching the river on the directions of the coroner's office ahead of an inquest into her death on June 26th in Preston. Now, Dr. Richard Shepherd, a forensic pathologist, has claimed police will be looking for an object, possibly something they can't find that has ended up in the water. I'm really struggling to see what they could be looking now, but
Okay, guys, you're struggling to understand what I'm saying. Finding the Fitbit doesn't mean to say they're going to find more info. It's to confirm she went in by the bench, guys. It's not what they find. It's to cement the sheep in the world here to believe the narrative that she fell in by the bench. That's all they're going to find something for. Doesn't matter what it is. Could be a necklace. Could be a boot. Oh yeah, she went in by the bench. Look, we found a boot by the bench. We found a Fitbit by the bench. She went in by the bench. That's what it's about.
would affect or influence the cause of death, he said. When Nicola's body was found, it would have been taken to the morgue and a formal post-mortem would have been carried out where it would have looked for natural diseases, any injuries, and samples would have been taken for alcohol, drugs.
Now, you're going to say, well, why aren't they looking by the bench? How obvious would it be if they just hung around the bench for 4 days? They've got to look everywhere, haven't they? And then suddenly it appears by the bench. Have I got to, like, feed you with a spoon?
He told the Mirror. They must have a reason to do it though. My guess is there is something like an artifact of some sort that they are trying to make sure to find. My sense is they want to be absolutely sure that something they can't quite locate isn't still in the river. My feeling is they are looking for something specific. The last thing police want after the social media interest around this is for it to come out inquest there is something missing and then it gets randomly found by the public. The search for Ms. Bulley attracted significant controversy as social media detectives descended on the quiet area.
And there it is. Once again, great stuff, Pamela. I love it. I absolutely love it. I wish I could have watched his face. So
there it is from the sky, guys. Near the road, right?
Bulley case, which is great. Raise awareness. Raise awareness. Dan Walker normally does Strictly Come Dancing. He's now hosting a weekly program about missing people. But what about the mark on the face?
There you go. A bruise. Not a birthmark. Not a shadow. Under lights of TV and makeup on the face. This is makeup. Can't hide the bruise. He's bruised and she has a tooth problem. Correct.
I mean, it's the elephant in the room, isn't it, that I'm not supposed to talk about. But it's there. Even with makeup people, I can see it. Is it remnants of a much larger bruise? Or is it just a coincidence? People's imagination. So it's strange that the parents seem to want to keep their distance from Paul and Emma. Don't they? But
here they are in their matching big hats. Coincidence? I don't think so.
There is a connection. Emma set up the interview with the parents as well, because that too was filmed at Marsh Hall Farm. So she was involved in this as well. Parents and her sister made her way there. I'll prove this by the same curtains. Sky.
Now, this is interesting here because I see that curtain there. That's the same one as in Paul's interview. So, as you know, the parents were interviewed early on, right? Sister, mum, dad. Guess where they were interviewed? Marsh Farm Hall. No sign of Peter and Paul. No sign of Paul Ansel. No sign of Emma, although she organised it. Why are they divided? Why is this part of the family divided from the father of their grandchildren? Why is the father of their grandchildren not sat with them? Because it was too early. It was in the first week and he wasn't showing himself, right? That's one thing. But Emma organised this. And after this, they were never seen anywhere near Emma or Paul again. Coincidence?
They filmed it. And this is where the presenter got himself in hot water. He got friendly with the family the 3rd of Feb. So the family talked about it. It was set up and organised by Sky. The trouble is, the reporter then, here he is, Inziman Rashid. He's the guy that got in trouble with the parents for texting them on the night Nicola was found.
This is the guy that texted Paul and the parents because this Inziman here, he works for Sky with Burley, right? He did the interviews with the parents. So he got their phone numbers on the 3rd of February. So he got Nicola's mum and dad's phone numbers on the 3rd of February. And he texted them the night the body was found when they were asked not to be texted, and he texted them. And this led to Sky being called out by the police and the family as being disgusting, right? So he was called out for texting them. And for some reason, ITV were called out. ITV News were called out, not anyone else. Just this guy who, fair enough, he texted the parents on the night about the body of Nicola. I can understand why they said, why did they pick ITV News? I can tell you, because either she said there was an altercation in the field, didn't she? She was the one that said, I spoke to people, the last person to see Nicola alive over a dog and lead. Those were the two people that were catastised and led to mainstream media going silent for 5 weeks until we had this that they want to publicise about looking for something in the river. That's the other thing. Suddenly, mainstream media come back when they're looking for something in the river. So I'm telling you, they're going to use mainstream media to find something in the river. Mark my words, AT told you. They're going to find something in the river. It's going to be reported by the media. It's a setup.
And got in hot water, and they turned on him big style. And that led to the closure of all media coverage of this case. So, yeah, use the media, Emma, and then maybe turn on the media at a later date. Same with the GoFundMe, wasn't it? It can be a double-edged sword, the media. They can help you, and then perhaps you don't want them anymore. Too late.
Where she is, it's like she's just vanished into thin air. There's no evidence to point us in any direction. Obviously,
Nicola's mother doesn't say a word. She just looks. To me, she's holding a counsel. She's appearing for the sake of her daughter, but she has a lot to say, but says nothing.
my hope is that she's still out there. Something's happened, and she's, I don't know, needed to take herself off for whatever reason, and we just want a home. We need her home. Her children need a home. It's just absolutely heartbreaking.
Only for you, what's the last week been like as a father?
It's been very difficult.
So Channel 5 and Sky took over the reins of this juggernaut that became worldwide and became out of control, to the extent, in the end, the family shunned the media.
Spending a bit of time with us this evening. Can I ask you, what are the past 2 weeks been like for you?
Actually reflects on the question. Is that a smile? This is like satisfaction smile.
You can't put into words the roller coaster we've been on the past 2 weeks. It's the heartache, the torture, the disbelief, washed down with this immense hope. And then we've got this drive and focus.
Drive and focus is her game. She's an events manager. She plans weddings months in advance. She's planned a lot of this. She's scripted a lot of this. She's organised a lot of this. This has been a satisfactory 2 weeks as far as.
And that, guys, right there, what Pamela's talking about, at that time, she was found on the 19th, everybody, okay? When this went on, Friday night, Saturday morning, 1 a.m., me and Pamela came to the conclusion it was about 1 a.m., her time, 9:45 my time, roughly. There was a huge, massive police presence there with helicopters, everything, okay? So what better distraction? What better distraction to give up in the Inskip area to put out to distract everybody from what may be going on over in this side of town, okay? Or at this area over here. I told you guys, it just was too fitting. And guess what? Early morning on the 18th, that goes on the 19th, she's found. Come on. Yeah. Right.
As an organizer goes, she's got the media.
Thank you,
she's got
Sandra.
Bowling, she's got the Channel 5 at her fingertips. So yeah, she's planned it well. Her concerns are primarily Paul and the children. Paul and the children. I don't see her talking to Nicola's sister or mum and dad ever again after that.
organised interview.
Here's the two girls. Lovely teeth, Emma.
Farm. But she is her best friend here with lovely smiles and lovely teeth. They definitely were friends. She's definitely married herself with children. She's definitely got a great career. She's definitely got a black gillet, ankle length. She's quite happy to be the last person to go on record of seeing Nicola alive at the school. We waved. Did they arrange a play date? Did they arrange to see each other that weekend? To me, this lady is the last witness to Nicola Bulley being anywhere near the field. The rest, it's all fluff. Hearsay, third party, misinformation. We don't see a face. This is the face of the last person to see Nicola Bulley alive, as far as I know. The caravan crew are all happy to say they saw the dog and the phone, but none of them, oh, no, we didn't see Nicola Bulley. Lady in red, no, I didn't see her. Mr. Last, unnamed. This is the last person to admit on TV to see Nicola Bulley that day. That's a big thing. Because after that, the prevailing word was vanished, as we see here on the program. Vanished. Never to be seen again. Why? Well, all we've got is January the 10th. Officers attended the family owned in Inskip. Police, health professionals were there. Was this the real start? 17 days before Nicola disappeared, amid health concerns raised by a partner to the police the day she went missing. Was alcohol and the menopause the reason for her disappearance? I don't think so. But the police were happy to point to that as the reason. And ended up in hot water having to report themselves. She had vulnerabilities. Well, we all know that people that fall in the water with vulnerabilities are condemned to be suicides. How many in your area have been found in a river and you found out they had alcohol problems or they had depression problems or mental health problems? How many of them were ruled suicide or accidental death straight away? I'd venture all of them. You can look up the stats if you want, because that's what they are. Unless there's a witness to an altercation or the autopsy shows a gunshot wound or something, they're written off as death by misadventure. The reason I'm doing this film tonight is because of tomorrow night's film, where I look into psychiatrics, mental health, alcoholism, and other reasons that people fall in the river, and how the police look at those, because they go on figures. They go on numbers, guys. This is why I'm doing this film. Link to tomorrow. It's time for the hard talk. Questions. I'm just asking questions that need to be answered. Have they already been asked? I hope so. Are we going to see the usual thing happen with the inquest? I hope not. It's all very well saying, leave it to the police, leave it to the coroner. What if other things happened? How many people have been found in rivers that didn't jump in? How many? Did Paul have an injury? Did Emma have an injury? What happened on January the 10th? Why did Nicola Bulley come off Facebook at Christmas? Why did she look so stressed that morning?
Okay, did you hear his last question? Why did Nicola Bulley come off Facebook at Christmas time? The picture that I showed you guys of her standing by the tree at Christmas time showed the bruise on the back of her neck. We zoomed out all the way in to find that there's nothing else that could have been was a bruise. There you go.
Why didn't Paul spend more time at the river looking for his partner? Why was he more concerned with getting home and sorting out the the proof that he wasn't working anywhere else but home that day? Why is Emma the last person to see Nicola alive? Why the misinformation on what she was wearing? Why the police insistence on a vulnerable death? Why? Why is Peter Fording so sure she wasn't in that shallow part of the river that she couldn't get out of because of the weir where she butt onto it over and over because she couldn't get over it? The body wouldn't get over it. These are the questions that need answering. hard talks needed. I don't.
Someone just said in chat, and I'm getting fed up with it now. Eve Norfolk, why bother? Why bother saying it's just a look? It's not a bruise. It's just a pigment inflammation. Come on. Come on, Eve Norfolk. Here he is. Look at his eyes. Where's the pigment now? It's no good making excuses. If you're going to come on here and make excuses, you're doing it in front of 1,200 people that don't believe you.
See any answers. I just see shut up. Shut up. Don't talk about the case. Leave it. Rest in peace. Don't upset the families. Or maybe the families need help. Maybe these questions need answering. Let's face it, there's no dash cam footage. There's no CCTV footage. There's no Nicola Bulley anywhere. Just seems like she vanished. Well, that only happens in magic tricks, not in real life.
Vanish before your very eyes. And it's nice to see so many people trying to convince you that it's not a bruise under his eye, that it's a birthmark, that it's pigmentation, that it's Botox, but only appears on one eye. It's pigmentation, but it only happens on that one eye, and it wasn't there before Nicola went missing, but it's there after. I'm afraid I don't believe you. I'm entitled to your opinion, but I'm afraid I feel that some people are trying to cover things up. Now, the reason I brought that out tonight, Michelle and Tap Tap were trying to convince you all that it's nothing under his eyes. It's not working. The reason I brought that tonight is because what I found out this week. What I found out this week has sort of shocked me. You're not going to believe what I'm going to tell you tomorrow night. I have a case I found that's very similar to this in the same place that no one's told you about, that's been hidden from you. I'm going to bring it blinking into the light tomorrow night that will prove to you what the police are going to do with this inquest. They're going to say it's an accident. Please watch tomorrow night's show because it's important, because I myself suffer from depression and anxiety, and I did have a breakdown a few years ago over some personal stuff. And I know that if I'd gone missing at that time that I was having emotional problems, if I'd have gone missing and they found me in a river, they'd have said, well, poor Alan, he was suffering from depression and anxiety, so he's probably just jumped in the water. BS. Just because some people suffer from depression or have a problem sometimes doesn't mean to say they're going to throw themselves in a river. And I'm sick of the police not investigating hundreds of people that have fallen in rivers and are written off as having some sort of vulnerability in their life. And because I've had this vulnerability myself, tomorrow night I'm going to show.
Well, here's the thing, though. Going back to Pookie says, okay, the rumor is he was bankrupt, but she was so spoiled. Okay, it wasn't a rumor. That's the thing, Pookie. We proved that he was bankrupt. We pulled up his financial records and showed you everything. Mama Bear, Molly dug it out, found it. We put it out here and showed you guys. There was no rumor. It was fact. He was bankrupt. End of story. Okay. And this here, the other company had just come to light recently. That's fact too. Okay. And there it is, Sherry. That's why I try to go based on facts. That's why we look for things like that and found that. So there is no rumor. He was bankrupt. End of story. Speaks truth. That's why I looked out with being poorly, not done much. Right. Absolutely. What I was wondering is this: the register, you have to pay a fee called ICO. Could a regular Joe access that info for all CCTV camera locations? Drowning is my last resort of ending my life. It's anybody's, Jody, because you suffer too much. She didn't end her life. Somebody else did.
Show you what police do to people who disappear. They go on numbers and figures. Well, somebody's got a problem in their lives. It's obvious they just jumped in the river. No, it's not. Expose my address. I've been to move house 3 times. And they all do it together as a gang. I need their phone records because they're all connected to the man in America. They're all egged on by the man from America. They're intertwined with the man from America, especially the one that exposed where I live and what hotels I stay in. He's intertwined with the man from America, and they're expected to sue me. The fact.
All right. That's well, now it's downpouring rain here. That's wonderful. Guys, DCTV, period. So that's pretty much it, guys, for today. Okay. And what else can I say about this at this point, folks? Sadly, unless something else pops up, we got to wait till June. Okay. But there may be other things that pop up. All I'm saying is I feel very strongly about what I feel. And I think I have shown enough proof that what I'm saying is very, very likely, and it makes very much sense. That's really the best I can do with that at this point. So, Miss Sandra, you as well. Does anybody have any questions, thoughts, theories, opinions about anything I just touched on? If you do, spit them out, guys. Let me hear it. If not, we got a downpour coming now. Shoot. That means we could be in line for tornado weather. Besides that, guys, thank you so much for joining me on your Saturday. Just for a couple things I wanted to touch on with this. Just keeps things going and keeps it warm till they can figure something out. Like I said, I feel very strongly about what I think. Doesn't mean it's right. It's all speculation and it's all alleged, folks. I hope the rest of you guys have an amazing rest of your weekend. I will not see you till Monday unless something big happens. I hope so. I hope you guys have the greatest rest of your weekend you can, guys. Spend time with your families, friends, yourselves. Enjoy yourselves, guys. You deserve it. Don't forget to love yourselves and love each other, folks. You guys are the beautiful people, so don't change one little thing. I love each and every one of you guys to death. You guys are amazing. Thank you for everything you do for my channel. Moderators, as always, a great job. I love you guys to death as well. At this point, folks, have a great one. I love you guys to death. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.